Testing, testing. Okay. Okay, you're plugged into here, then it's really the only thing that does it. This one. Neither. Maybe if I take that mouse out. Okay, let's try this. It's not going to be my usual audio, but I don't know why the mic is just ignoring me. So we might have to go with this. Can you guys hear it? It's probably going to suck, but is it back? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear the cat? If you heard the cat, that's him. I don't think you can, because I don't think the cat's awake even. So it might be me poking around. Sounds like 1960. Yeah, I don't know. It's the what is this one called? It's like whatever's on the computer. This mic is just, there's no power to it. I don't know why. It's just not showing. It's not even showing as like an option for me to select. So when I go to properties, usually I could select this mic, but it's just not. You know, let me just try plugging the mic into a different slot. Oh, maybe that'll do it. Sometimes you get lucky. Okay. You can see all my boxes then. This is like how it's been all week, so I guess we should just get used to it. Let me see if I can get back in here. Alright, I need to find this wire. Is this wire or is it this wire? No, I still don't know which wire it is. This one. This wire. Alright, let's try removing it. Plugging it in here. Aha! I think that did it. There's now power light on. Let's see. Cancel. Oh, my hair's all messed up. Okay. Alright, let's see if it'll catch it now. Properties. Steam webcam. Aha! I think we have life. Testing. I think we're back in business. Fix my hair a little bit. Not that much. Nope. Alright. You know what? My hair, like, gets messed up really easily. Very, very easily. Especially because it's long now. Nope. It's actually easier when I'm just sitting here. If the wind is out or something, it's bad. You know what? This whole week has been like this. So, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. The whole week has been weird little catastrophes. Like, nothing really bad happened because, like, at the last minute, I was able to fix it. Like, the truck had all kinds of battery problems, and then I got stranded in this alley because I was trying to pick up some free wood, and then I blocked the whole alley, and then I forgot to bring my phone because my phone had been having problems all day, so I had left it at home to charge. So I was like 8 blocks away, so then I was going to have to walk all the way home to get my phone to go get help. But then some stranger said he'd jump my truck for me, but then the jump didn't work. But then he gave me a ride all the way back, and then Dave was able to come. But then it turned out it wasn't really the battery. It might be the alternator. It was just like on and on and on. And I think we got it sorted, but that is just like one example of all the fun and games that this week has been. Equal problems like that with the phone. And for some reason, I was trying to get my old phone to transfer signal to my new, like the app signal to my new phone. And then it wouldn't. And I had to move my chip to the old phone. And then when I moved my chip back to the new phone, now the new phone's not working properly. And it's just like, I don't know. I swear, if someone told me it was like Mercury retrograde or something, I believe them, because I've had like a 6 months of bad luck in like 2 days. But yet, yeah, it's a Pareto, and a lot of times it's like some little bitty mistake I made. Like this time, I forgot to check the desktop audio. Right, I do like 3 out of 4 times check it, but I didn't check it this time. My trash can has had a label since yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up. And then, although I had all that bad luck, there's been a few weird, strange good lucks to help counteract the bad luck. Like, then Dave wanted to, first he thought it was the terminals on the battery, so he wanted to like grind them down and clean them. And I had just happened to bring like the right little grinder bit for that the day before. Like I had seen that grinder bit at home, and I'm like, I'm just going to bring that to work. And then the next day he's like, I need a grinder bit. And it was the exact one that I had brought. You know, so there was a couple little weird things like that. Like, what is the odds of that happening yet? I mean, I'd rather not have the whole problem to start with, but so yes, that's how it's been. Yeah, so I was able to get, so what happened was, for some reason, the mic randomly decided that it didn't like the USB port it was in. And so I moved it, like I was just trying to get it to work, and then I moved it to a different USB port, and now it's magically working. Now, sometimes I can just unplug and then replug a USB port, and then it'll work, but, so it's another irony, because I just got like this second mouse, and then I was like trying to decide if I want to keep the wireless mouse or the non-wired mouse, so I plugged them in both at the same time, and then I needed another USB port, and I did like slightly jiggle some things in that back port, but then I decided, there's no room, so I plugged it into another port. But I don't know, maybe just touching them caused this one port to decide to fail. I mean, it's just it's just like one of those things. That very tiny little thing I did. There's something going on with Jupiter and another planet. I don't know. You know, I even looked it up. It's so crazy the last couple days, especially like 3 days ago. Like 3 days ago. And it's funny because I was going to go out to get that wood, and I'm thinking, you know, it's been so crazy, I probably shouldn't even leave the house, or like the work, I should say. And then I'm like, you know, I'm only a couple blocks away. What could go wrong? Well, there you go. The 3i Atlas is selling. I don't know. Yeah, I know, but it's just like, what are the odds? You know, and I'm actually pretty careful. I was being careful, like, you know, but I needed another USB port. So I'm like, well, there's 4 in one place on this thing. Then there's 2 on up above, and then there's 2 in the front. But I tried to keep the 2 in the front open for stuff that I will be unplugging and replugging lately. So luckily, it's a gaming computer, so it has a lot of USB ports, but it's amazing, like, how quickly I'll use them all up. I think right now, with the 2 mice, there's only 1 more slot out of 6 in the back. So once if I move this mic to there, then all 6 in the back will be full, and then I'll have 2 opens in the front, and that's it. So I'm like, I'm already running out. And sometimes these front ones are full, because I'll have 1 for the camera, and then 1 for recharging stuff like phones and all kinds of other crap. Yeah, so I got this gaming computer in like during the lockdowns, because I actually was making pretty good money during the lockdowns, because everybody was buying everything, and I had an assistant to help me like slam stuff out. It was crazy though. I just was working all the time. Work. But there was nothing better to do, because you couldn't go out and like do anything, because I would go out, but everything was closed. And so apparently they actually really did enforce the curfew. I was just kind of scoffing at it because I'm like, they're not going to like say anything. And I didn't think the cops were really enforcing it, but I did talk to somebody here that said that he was driving home from work where he was actually allowed to be out, and the cops stopped him and demanded to see evidence that he was allowed to be out. And I'm like, man, I would have been so pissed if that happened. The whole electronics are not working. You know, when I think about it, because there's been 2 huge internet outages, and I have not seen a really good explanation why. First, Amazon Web Services went down, and they are probably the biggest server farm provider in like the whole country, and so that was huge. And a bunch of Amazon stuff that I use, which is kind of their less important stuff, was down. Like Vine was down for days. And then Microsoft went down a few days later, and there was a huge Microsoft outage. So the only thing that hasn't gone down is Google. So maybe, you know, electronic problems are kind of one of the shift signs, in my opinion. So yeah, I think, so for the truck, it turns out that it looks like there was a problem in both the alternator and the battery, but it was like little subtle problems. So the battery would show fully charged in most situations, but occasionally when it was under load, it would show one cell was not working properly. And then the alternator looks like it charges in some situations, but not others. So it wasn't fully recharging the battery. So we don't know if the alternator had a problem and took out the battery, or if the battery had a problem and took out the alternator. We think it's that second one, because the battery terminals, one of the connectors had kind of broken and it was really loose, and so that would have made a very erratic electrical. So we think that might have taken out the alternator, but who the heck knows. My stove is complaining. Yeah, it's Gremlins. Gremlins did it. Oh, that's funny, John. I saw the Mogwai and I didn't know you said Gremlins, and I looked up there and you did say Gremlins. Yes. Yeah, so we think we have it fixed. So basically, I just kind of lived at work for a few days. I mean, like, I can get somebody to drive me home, and then I have to get somebody to drive me back. It was just a big pain. So I'm like, oh, I'll just sleep on the couch. I usually bring a change of clothes anyway for such things, so I was pretty much ready. I really have everything I need here, and I can walk over to, like, some convenience stores, and there's a couple restaurants. And if I really had to, I could just call in for food and stuff. So I have a little mini fridge here. So I really can survive here for long periods of time. Okay, so some stuff I noticed this week. Locally, I guess we have a volcano now. And it is, they said it was extinct. So what's the difference between extinct and dormant? Extinct means there's no magma under it. Dormant means, I guess, that there's some magma, but it hasn't come up. It's not like flowing upwards or something, I guess. Like, it could come up, but extinct means that the magma is not under there. So in the old days, we were like the plates were floating on a sea of magma, but now they're not. So I guess it's like movement or something that somehow melts the stone and causes magma, and then it can come up. So now you can have a situation where there's no magma at all, like there's none, because there's none down there at all. So this thing, you can see that it's pretty tiny. This is the wiki, and it's 1 paragraph long, so I'm really suspicious. And when I looked up this volcano, a lot of places are like, oh, very few people know that there's actually a volcano in Carlsbad. And Cerro de la Calavera, which apparently means like Skull Mountain. And then there's a Calavera Preserve, which is Lake Calavera Preserve, which would be Lake Skull Preserve. Skull Lake Preserve. Lake Calavera and the dam that holds it. I've never heard of any of these things. But this, so they're saying that it is a kind of volcano that is called a volcanic plug dome. So long ago there was a volcano, and then this is the, like, magma that cured and dried in the middle of the volcano, and it makes those basalt columns that are hexagonal. And so when I look at close-ups of these, it looks like these are almost hexagonal, like these columns. They're definitely working on it, but it's kind of unclear. I have a feeling that we're gonna get these basalt columns here eventually. It looks like it's really planning to be the hexagonal. It's like almost, I couldn't find a lot of images of this though, which is also weird. You can only see it from this one side, so I'm gonna try to keep an eye on that. Pretty much all the images are this one image taken from this one spot. I'm like, there's no drone images, there's no nothing. I think there's two people up there too. Is that? It looks like that might be. Yeah, two people right there. So this little tiny thing is people. So you can kind of get an idea of it. I'm going to try to go up there. Probably, hopefully, if I have enough energy. It might be after Christmas actually, but there apparently is a hike that goes around here. It looks like it's blocked off through here, so there's really not much info on this, like I said. Okay, here's weird thing number 2. Apparently we have redwoods here. So redwoods aren't supposed to be able to grow in the dry chaparral deserty like region that I live in, and they're only, like, even when I lived in the Bay Area, there were no redwoods in the Bay Area. It was even further north that had the redwoods. Now maybe you could grow some in the Bay Area, but I never saw them there. They were just up north, right? So they couldn't grow here. But apparently now we had these 100-year-old redwoods that they said they planted them 100 years ago. Now, I am quite sure, because I went to Balboa, I looked at the map, I looked at the hiking trails, and I thought I was on all of them. They're not that extensive. And I never heard of this redwood circle. I've never heard of it. And so the story is that 100 years ago, somebody planted hundreds of redwoods, but they were kind of like sickly because they're not supposed to grow here, but yet they grew for 100 years. And then, like, when is it? Like 10 years ago, they all got really sick from some unknown reason, and then they cut down most of them. But then when you look up the thing, they're like, well, there's a few over here. Oh no, wait, they only cut down 2/3 of them. Then one guy said they cut them all down. One guy said there's not any, and another guy said there's some. So I don't know, I think this is another one that's phasing in, like they were here, but you just didn't know about it because they cut them down, but there's a few. And then it's just, I think it's sneaking in. So this is an image from maybe 10 or 15 years ago. It's weird because it looks like he's carrying like a cat, but I'm assuming it's a small dog or something. So this is the redwoods that grew for 100 years and through droughts and everything in the desert, and they shouldn't have. And so now the whole story is crazy. So I'm pretty sure there's still some there, and that's another thing I'm gonna have to go check. I'm gonna have to the redwoods, the wood itself, if you cut into it, is reddish brown. So let's see, let me look. Okay, redwood lumber, and they're just famous for growing like super ridiculously tall. Okay, so there it is. So it has beautiful lumber to it, and it's kind of the middle pieces that have it. Now, back in the day, there weren't a lot of woods that had the beautiful red. Now there are a lot. Mandela has made them. But the other thing that California people may not know this as much, especially if you're not in the United States, but California is famous for their absolutely massive redwoods, but they're way up north. They're further north than I used to live, and they're stupidly large. And I'm very suspicious that they continue to just get even more stupidly large. Let me see if I can, so it's the redwood forest, basically. Let me see if I can find. So there's ones where, okay, so you could kind of see, supposedly they cut some down back in the day, and so you get all that drama. So here we go. There's the base of some of them. That one got struck by lightning a bajillion years ago. So they're just huge, and they're... Ironically, since I just didn't have money or any resources when I was growing up, I never went up to see these. Because I had no way to get there. So if my parents didn't decide to go there, then there was no going there. So I think they're like, what is it? One of the tallest trees in the world is the California redwoods. So to me, it's strange because that whole top end of the state is different anyway. Let's see. Living for 1,000 to 2,000 years. Native to a narrow coastal strip along northern California and southwestern Oregon. Now, Oregon didn't used to be above California, but okay. Only 5% of the original old-growth redwood remains. I think we actually just get more and more redwoods, even though the storyline is the reverse. Yeah, they're coastal redwoods. I forgot about that. What is the height? That doesn't really say. Height. I think it was like a couple hundred feet or something. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it's 380 feet. The tallest, named Hyperion, stands 380 feet. Measure recorded in 2019. This tree was discovered in 2006. I don't see how they wouldn't have discovered it until 2006, though. Then there's other ones. 377 feet and 371 and 363. Found in 2022. Just found it in 2022. I'm kind of really suspicious that maybe they weren't that tall until then, and that's why they weren't discovered earlier. So yeah, this is like one of the big touristy, visity places of California is the famous coastal redwoods. The train is 50 cents. Yeah, I wish. We don't have a train going up there, and it sure as heck ain't going to be 50 cents. Yeah, no, Upper California, like, it used to be that San Francisco was really near the top for me, and it wasn't that much above it. And there was a little stretch of Washington, I remember. I do remember way back thinking California had all of the West Coast. And then one time I looked at it for something, and there was a little strip of Washington right above. And I'm like, I don't remember that, but oh well. And since then, now there's like more Washington, and then there's Oregon on there. And California has shrunk. We used to be the biggest state by land mass and by population. And now it's only by population. There were trains everywhere in the States in the 1800s. Nearly all were removed so the oil barons could make more money from automobiles. Yeah, I don't know that all the stories now are like, the narratives all are like about greed and conspiracy theory. And I don't know if it's all going to stay that way, because the actual like reality has shifted. I mean, there's an obvious reason why cars are more convenient, because they drive you all the way to your destination, and you can carry of your own stuff in there. You know, if you're on the train and you need to carry wood to your work, then the train is not that good. Yeah, so that's the thing though. You know, if you look at California, that's let me think. It takes me 2 hours to get to LA. It's 8 hours to get to San Jose, and that's only in the middle of the state now. So it'd be about 16 or 20 hours to get up to the Redwoods driving. And that's not including any times to stop and get gas or anything like that. Okay, so those are the two. I call baloney on the Redwoods. They can't live here. They lived here for 100 years. I kind of noticed this about a lot of new stuff that shows up, okay? The first time I ever heard of it, they just closed off access. That's what it seems like. It's like, oh, you didn't know there was tunnels under here. And for years, everybody went and snuck around in there. But just lately, they locked the doors, or they closed the cave door, or they started patrolling, and now suddenly you can't go in. But all this time that you never heard of it, you couldn't go in. And so that's kind of the feeling I have with this Redwoods, where they're like, oh, there was several hundred redwoods here for 100 years, but just now, lately, they cut them down before you ever heard of them. And I've looked at the map of Balboa, and I never saw anything called Redwood Circle. I've never seen any hiking like this, so I'm going to have to go back there. Okay, so I have a majillion of them from Jackie, and I'm not even caught up, but there's plenty for today. Look at this. I've already spent 48 minutes yapping. Okay. Zapruder film. This one is slow-mos. Let me get it larger. It's always changing. I don't know all the stuff that Jackie saw. There's one thing she saw that I frankly didn't see, and if she hadn't pointed it out, I don't think I would have seen it. This thing is always changing. It's gotten more warpy. This stuff on the side keeps changing, how it looks. So now it jumps from that, and the whole spot in the middle where, like, there's a big chunk missing, like he turned it off and turned it back on. That's been true for like a month or two, though. Like, it used to be that you just saw the whole motorcade come down, but now you just see these guys, there's a break, and then suddenly we're here. I am not seeing the spot where they tell the guys to back off from the car. So I'm not sure if I'm just missing that or what, but it doesn't look like they back off from the car. So maybe that happened at another slot. This sign is huge now. And the other thing is that there's 2 shots that hit him now. And in my original timeline, it was just this. The official story is that 3 shots were fired. I mean, it's in the wiki now. And I remember there just being official story. It was 2 shots. And the magic bullet story was really crazy because the magic bullet shot 2 people in the original magic bullet story. But now the magic bullet story just shot, it went through one guy and hit him in other parts of his body, but it didn't shoot anybody else. So the magic, and my original timeline did not have a magic bullet. See all these weird, like all this weird stuff. Like, what is going on here? Okay, so I had been saying for a long time, there's a point where he kind of looks like he's like this, and I'm like, why is he doing that? And there never was an explanation. But now the explanation is that's when he got shot the first time in the back of his neck and in his throat. And I'm like, what the hell? Another throat shot, just like Charlie Kirk. Very similar, except for it came in, well, this that is kind of a one of the conspiracy theories for the Kirk one is that it came in from the back. But so he got shot from the back, and then it went through his throat, and that's when he goes like this, and then he gets shot again. So Jackie noticed this arm guy, like first this sign showed up, and now there's this dude down here who waves his arm. Now this is slowed down. This video is slowed down, so it's a little slower than you may remember, but that's so we can see the details. So arm guy, I don't remember seeing the arm guy. Weirdly, I didn't notice it other than Jackie pointed it out. Okay, so another weird thing is it's just like it's kill the cameraman meme here, because he's not keeping his camera centered. In the old timeline, the image was right in the middle, but look at so here he's already gotten shot in the back, and one thing that's really changed for me is she really hovers over him now. She's like totally like in his face. And then that's pretty gross, but he gets shot here with her like right in his face. So I mean, like, she would get it all over her and everything, and it's bizarre to me that is how it went down, because I don't remember thinking she's going to get it's kind of gross. You can, in my old timeline, there way back, there was no blood spray, and it really looks like his face is just ripped off. I jumped over that spot. Now the storyline is the reason she climbs out the back is because she was trying to get a piece of skull off the back. That's some of the narrative now, although I don't really see anything back there. Like, I don't see any parts, so I don't know. The whole narrative is just weird. There is maybe something right here. Is she reaching for it? She later claims out that she doesn't even remember doing this. So that's weird, because in my original timeline it wasn't there, so she wouldn't remember doing it if it wasn't there. This other big sign is really hogging up a lot of space. So, oops, sorry. So the whole video just sucks even more than it did last week. This guy has more problems than I remember jumping up, and I also don't remember him jumping up. I don't remember seeing him jump up there. I remember having more of a view of him jumping up, like we're in front of the vehicle looking towards it, and he's way behind the vehicle, and then this guy jumps up onto the vehicle. So now when I see him jumping up, I'm seeing the rear of the vehicle and him jumping up, and I don't remember that being how it happened last time I saw it. So I'm trying to see here. This happens, and see, he's I don't know. So I think this has changed a lot. I think Jackie saw more things. I'm betting I didn't see everything she saw. This part is kind of freaking me out because it looks really like poor quality in here. And last time I looked, this part was not all ripply and weird. And it's gotten worse. I get it. By the time they get done with this thing, it's going to be like a foggy night or something. The thing happened. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to look at a couple other things because, let's see. I thought I had, 80% of the witnesses recalled hearing 3 shots. The Warren Commission concluded that 3 shots were fired, and noticed that most witnesses recalled that the second and third shots were bunched together. Now, that was not in the original Warren Commission of my reality, but now it is accepted that there was 3, not just 2. Shortly after Kennedy began waving, some witnesses heard the first gunshot. Okay, so this is what happened to the magic bullet. Let me open this. This is the official story anyway. Now. The now of, oh, that does not help at all. Never mind. It hit him, and somehow he was moving his hand, and his hand came up and got hit too, which, like, makes no sense because I don't think you can move your hand faster than a speeding bullet. Oh, okay, so it does hit two people. Okay, it goes through it does go through Kennedy and hits Connolly. Okay, that's still a story. It goes through Kennedy and all right, so this it does still go through two people and hit. I thought there was a thing in the original one about it. I don't know. All right, I'm not sure on that one. I didn't even have Magic Bullet in my original one, so. But they do admit there was three. So this was the first shot here, and then the second shot hits him in the back of the head, and then there's supposed to be like fragments of skull everywhere. Now, before when I was checking this, they were saying only that some of the skin was off, and that the people at the hospital kind of put it back together so it wouldn't look too bad, and that's why nobody saw it, because they kind of fixed it, but they're not fixing this, and the images that I'm seeing, they're not fixing it. It's gotten more gruesome over time. Anyway, I don't know what you guys all remember, but this whole film is so fake. Look at it. I know it changes all the time, though. Why is it all? But yeah, that's a newer change, like the last 6-ish months. And that even that stuff keeps changing, like how it exactly looks like. These days you're paying $50 to $100 for a haircut. Yeah, probably. If you go to like Supercuts, it's not, but man, I had some pretty bad haircuts at Supercuts. There are photos of the rails and trains in my towns. They were all ripped up and destroyed. So like here, they had a lot of little railway tracks that came off the main tracks, and they would go to like a specific building that maybe got a lot of deliveries. And now those, since we have big old beefy trucks and stuff, they just deliver it that way instead. And it's pretty expensive for, because now we have these huge trains, right? So there's not going to be a little choo-choo train choo-chooing along and going up a little side choo-choo train track to one person's business. That doesn't happen anymore. So that's another reason why those are just not used anymore. Sometimes they're still there, but they're just not used. Yeah, see, okay, Jackie, I don't know if that's what you noticed, but she gets right in his face, so she would be like red from the amount of splay that they're showing there. It's funny because that's just the kind of thing I would notice, like, if you were going to get covered with blood, when I see that, I would immediately go, ugh, and she's going to get all covered with it. Everything is in the way. You can't see anything. It's all. It is just, that video is like one of the biggest Mandelas for me. It just doesn't keep. It just keeps changing. It keeps changing. So that sign has. It started out kind of small, and it got bigger and bigger. So that's the other weird thing. Like it didn't really obstruct much view at first, but why is Erica Kirk turning into this weird person? You know, I have to say I didn't really know much about Erica Kirk before, so I don't know if she was always a weird person, but her behavior is very strange now with the hot pants and the hugging and the, I mean, I know there's a big rumor that she's sleeping with JD, but frankly, the video I've seen lately, she's just clingy with all of the men. And like there was another guy who was getting the mic for her or something, and she was like, oh thank you. Like, I mean, like, so basically how she was acting there seems like how she always acts, which is just weird. I mean, even if I was a touchy-feely person, I would never do that to a married man. They're obviously going to think things. You gotta be a moron to not realize that that's inappropriate. If somebody goes, okay, here's your mic, I don't go, I mean, like, if my husband just died, I don't wear hot pants and hug men and on national TV. And did the video go that far before? I think it's been that way for a year or so, that it went all the way past and under the tunnel. I don't remember ever seeing a tunnel before, like, a year ago. So there's just like an endless amount of weird stuff with the Kirk thing. Like, I think there's just too much to even believe in reality anymore. Even if it's a cover-up, they couldn't possibly be that many weird things in a regular cover-up. I think she's, the video I see now of her, she's just the classic actress type of bad actor, where she goes, like, let's see if I can get some tissue here, and then she's like, and then my husband, I just miss him so much, and then I told him to, like, she just goes, yeah, and then suddenly she's all sad, and then there's too much transition. And if you're really upset, you're like usually trying to hold it in. You're not trying to dramatize it. And there's a lot of things. It's just not right. And like saying, no one will ever replace my husband, but this guy has all these qualities of my husband. I mean, like, it's like a bad pickup line. I remember when I was in college, some dude tried that pickup line where he's like, oh, you remind me of my ex-girlfriend. In my mind, I'm like, did I really hear that? And it turned out that was his pickup line. He was using that as a pickup line. Yeah, I don't even take it too, like, reality too seriously anymore. But whatever's going on with her, it is absolutely not normal. I mean, if I had to pick a narrative, I would say that she basically was his handler after he was already up and coming, and he looked like he was going to make a big splash. And you can see, if you've ever watched him, you can see he has this talent that most people don't have, where he can talk to people without being judgy. And I've said before, I really respected that. I didn't believe in everything he believed in, and I didn't have like all of his opinions, but I at least could respect him, that he would talk to you respectfully, and you could see that he wasn't looking down on you. And when you can do that, you can have a dialogue with a lot more people. Very few people have that. So I would say that at some point it became clear that he was going places, and he's pretty good looking, and he's smart, and he has this skill, and he was kind of exploding on the scene. And at around that time, he meets Erica, and it was at some Israeli thing, and so it was very interesting because she was like very pro-Israeli, and now you can see how she behaves. So I'm just wondering if she basically didn't play the game, and she's good looking, and kind of just capture him that way, and was his handler. But then when he was kind of breaking away from the Israel love, maybe the bloom was off the rose, so to speak. That would be the narrative I would guess. But again, like I said, reality is so weird that I don't even want to get attached to a narrative, because tomorrow I could find out some crazy thing that throws it all into a whole new light. Yeah, no. Well, I know widow with two kids does what she's doing. Not normally, not normally if she totally loved him. So I tend to immediately assume that they weren't that close by the end. That is my feeling. Now, there is some video of them like holding hands and stuff, but it looked like it was pretty pre-planned, not propaganda, but video that was planned to be published, kind of video that was taken. So those things can't be trusted to be real. It wasn't spontaneous. Have you heard about all the weird coincidences in the movie Snake Eyes? We actually, like, a couple of us watched Snake Eyes, and it's not a bad movie, but if you really like watch it, the rest of the whole, if you watch the whole plot line, it's not that close. But yeah, there were some weird, like the names, and that there was a shot and someone was assassinated. I mean, that's the narrative that I would come to with the current information, would be my guess. But again, like I said, tomorrow all the data could be different, and there could be a new story, and there could be a new apparent narrative. So I don't feel like I know, because it could be different in every timeline. Okay, so I feel like the assassinate. I don't remember him getting shot twice. That's a big one for me. So Jackie had just said there was some changes, and she pointed out the hand waving thing. Weirdly, I did not see that. I probably should have, but I didn't. If she hadn't said it, I wouldn't notice it. But I definitely noticed her crunching up in his face. Okay, this is another weird one. I think these are all Jackie's. Apparently now they flew inside a hurricane, and it looked like this. I just don't remember people. And then it's all clear on top. That's what's kind of weird for me. I have heard that they are like that, but I've never heard of anybody flying into the middle of them. So you'll actually see like I don't want to play too much of it. You get the drift, okay? At some point you can actually see the part of the engine if it's still going on. What do you call it? The rotors, or this part. Yeah, so I was wondering if they had sent a drone in or something. Maybe, I don't know. But see, that doesn't really look like a drone. That looks like a regular plane, doesn't it? I mean, unless it's a really high-end drone that's big. This is just crazy, and I can't say that I've ever been in the middle of a hurricane, but so this would be the eye. It's just, I find it interesting that this showed up now, 9 days ago. Okay, there's another one Jackie found, and this is the thumbnail. Carnivorous death ball sponge among new species found in depths of Southern Ocean. So apparently there's other death ball sponges. Somebody said it looks like it's tangled up in something. No, I think that's just its weird tentacles and stuff. So these death ball sponges supposedly have like little spines or something on the ends on these balls. I don't really see how these balls are super useful for catching prey, but there's other ones. This is just a new one, and the other ones look like whiter and different, like slight. They look almost the same to me, frankly, than this one. And then they also found a new one of these scale worms. So the reality really likes the scale worms. This one has these weird translucent, whatever the heck, plates in the back. Maybe I don't know how. Is there going to be not much head here, or is there going to be a giant ookie head that later shows up over here? I don't know. It looks a lot like the one that we already had on, but some other stuff they found. If you know, in my old timeline, they'd find a new thing and it would be boring, like 99.999% of the time. And in this reality, tons of new stuff is really cool and weird looking. Okay, this is another one. Is there any that Jackie didn't find this time? I don't think I have any by anybody else. There's me and there's Jackie on these ones. Okay. So, super bright comet lemon gets its tail temporarily torn to pieces by solar wind. Do you remember any comets that could just, like, the winds from the sun would, like, make them wiggly like this? It used to be they would shoot with really straight tails, but I guess now they don't. And this thing isn't, speaking of, like, just finding out about something after you can't see it. So now they're saying that it was pretty bright until yesterday, and now you can't see it, but you could see it with the naked eye, and there it is with the naked eye. And I just never seen any comets that cool, but its tail is really long and all disrupted. So I asked the AI when you could see it, and then it's like, well, as of today, Comet Lemon is no longer at its peak brightness and is fading rapidly. It will not be visible again for 1,150 years or more or something. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of other ones, though. But you supposedly, if you're in the northern hemisphere and you look to the northwest, to the western horizon, 30 to 90 minutes after sunset, the comet can be found near the bright star Arcturus in the constellation Bootes, which a lot of people don't remember being a thing until lately, by following the arc of the Big Dipper's handle westward. So it was closest to Earth on October 21. Did anybody see this thing? How come I keep missing all the hot, bright comets? I haven't seen a single one, and by the time I find out about them, they're gone. Has anybody seen the President Library built for Obama? All right, let's check it out. Obama's presidential. One thing interesting is I do kind of feel like maybe people are kind of like the right is getting less in love with some of the stuff that's going on the right, and they're starting to split, and the left is getting more suspicious of some of the left narrative. I feel like there's kind of a coming, a little bit of a move more towards coming together. Maybe I just like to think that there is. What the heck? What's all that writing? Okay. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I don't know why it's... How much crap they got in there? It's huge. Located in the heart of south side of Chicago. I mean, look at that thing. It's massive. Here's like a... How many stories is this building? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. This is like a 15 or 20 story building. And this is... It looks like it's much taller. That's crazy. I don't understand how much crap they got. What do they all got in there to... What's in there? Okay, let's see. Inside. I mean, I don't think it looks that bad. I'm kind of curious what's on the writing, though. What is inside it? What could they possibly have to fill that people will want to see? There's really not much info about. No. Maybe the AI can tell me what is. I mean, even if they had something like this on Washington, Lincoln, and all kind of presidents combined, I still don't know how they would fill it with enough stuff to warrant that size of a building. Look at that. Okay, a big hall. Learn about the history of. No. All right, let me see if. Oh, that was another weird thing. I had to look this up because I saw it the other day. How much does a cloud weigh? All right, let's see if this AI could learn it. There wasn't really very many images of the inside, and nothing that was particularly. Are they even done with that thing? Is that why there's no images? Or is the AI not, is the reality not written it yet? We could have a bunch of drone bombs in there on one floor. I just don't get it. Oh, still under construction. All right, exhibits. Mix of permanent and rotating exhibits. 83-foot tall abstract glass collage. Okay, well, that doesn't really. President's reading room showcasing books. Curated by Obama. 299-seat auditorium. Classrooms. I mean, that's still only one floor's worth of crap. Maybe 3 or 5 if they make the auditorium really high. An NBA-sized basketball court. The great lawn for outdoor events. What in the hell? Managed by the Obama Foundation. Huh. That's actually pretty crazy to have all that going on. Golden blood type, have you heard of it? We've had a lot of blood type stuff on. I'm not sure. Okay, so they haven't actually finished the thing yet. I don't know why it won't jump. I noticed that with video lately, I'm having trouble jumping for it. I can see it here, but it won't jump up here. It's thinking about it. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. It's taking too long. Yeah, I saw that of like a month or two ago, and I thought it was crazy. It's clouds weigh 1 million pounds. Literally, they literally weigh 1.1 million, and so it's just like a joke because you're like, that thing weighs 1 million pounds, and you're joking. Well, a cloud literally weighs 1 million pounds. That's the story, but somehow it stays up there. That's what I was looking at. All right, I did that one. Did the lemon. This one, Jackie found this one. I guess they found like the world's biggest spider web. I'm not really surprised because we've kind of had this brewing. But there's so like a whole gajillion spiders all banded together and made this. It looks like it goes all up on the ceiling and everything. But it's in this dark cave that is completely cut off. It has its own ecosystem. So apparently it was found in 2022, and now they saw it again, and this is the images. 69,000 of this one spider and 42,000 of another spider living side by side like little buddies is the estimated amount. Obviously didn't count every spider. The first time either species has ever been seen living cooperatively, and the first recorded instance of colonial web building is what's known as a chemo-autotrophic cave. So I don't think we had this either, because when they first found those volcanic smokies things under the ocean, it was a big hairy deal because they were not dependent on light at all, and they were totally their own independent ecosystem based on the chemicals and the heat that were boiling up out of the earth down there. And this is another one like that, is that there's bacteria that eat like the chemicals in the cave, and then other creatures eat those bacterias, and then the spiders eat those creatures. And it's all cut off from the outside world. So it's their own little ecosystem. So before, when I was growing up, they'd say, oh, you know, life outside of Earth is not going to be common because, you know, life requires light and water. But now that's just like, they would have always known that it doesn't now, ever since I was a child. Did you see the artist who created a cloud? I have seen them create clouds the last few years only. And so now there's also a thing like the really deep caves. They'll actually have their own like weather system and clouds in there. I don't think that was a thing either. We didn't have caves with their own weather system in the old days. So I guess they're just saying there's this much water in the cloud, and that much water would weigh 1.1 million pounds. It sounds like total bullcrap to me. But I have long said, like, now that after the Mandela, I'm like, how are these things staying aloft? You know, like wind, like especially hail, like hail this big. Wind is somehow pushing hail this big around up there enough to accumulate into giant basketball-sized blobs at times. It just... But yet the airplanes aren't thrown out of the sky. If it should be, then if that winds are that bad, then when airplanes fly, shouldn't they be thrown all over the place? And yes, there is turbulence, but I just don't see it as being enough to explain the hail. So I've been suspicious for a while. Okay, Jackie noticed this. I did notice a few, like maybe a month ago, that I don't remember the hand being all weird, like to the side. I remember it being more down normally, and now it's sort of like this hand is all cockeyed and it's weird. There's been a lot of changes, but that's a recent one I noticed. And then Jackie noticed like the hair is all weird and it's shiny. And yeah, she's right, the hair is really weird. I don't know what hairstyle is that. Okay. And then I noticed also today, after I was checking Jackie's hairstyle thing, that I don't remember one eyebrow being all up, and now they almost all of them have like this one raised eyebrow thing going on. So those are the changes for me on this one recently. That actually I don't remember either. I'll have to check and see if they all have that. So that's a change there. Okay, this is a big one. So Jackie was asking me about the Scream movies, and I just typed in the Scream, and then I saw the paintings, and I'm like, what's wrong with the painting? I mean, do you see anything wrong with this painting? Because I see something wrong with this painting. I'm like, wait an effing minute. Okay, so now there's but, you know, it's been a while now that there's been more than one of these oil tempera and pastel. So I remember there being oil paintings, and then there was like pastel, like not oil, like it's not paint, you know. But now it's oil tempera and pastel, and I'm not even sure what that means, but the overall look of it has changed again for me. This is there's multiple of them. Let me see if I can go back. I need to get back to number one. Okay, so there's this one. 1893, oil, tempera, and pastel. Why am I way over here? Okay. That's weird because I went through this and I don't remember seeing that. This, the heck? I just went through this like an hour ago and I don't remember some of these. All right, this one is a pastel on cardboard. Possibly earliest execution of the scream appears to be the version where Munch mapped out essentials of the composition. I have never seen one this bad, though they were a little better in the old timeline. I mean, it looks like a child did that one. The first publicly displayed one is this one. And then he did this litho. Okay, this is the lithograph print. I don't remember there being a lithograph print, but now there is. 1895 pastel on cardboard. That's another one of the pastels. So I think the pastels are like pastel pens. I think. Tempera on cardboard. So now there's only one. I guess this is just the paint one only. I remember last time there was 2 paint ones, but now one is paint and pastels. I have freaking never seen this with a green face. I've never seen this one, and I've gone through these a number of times. Undated ink drawing. Apparently he did this one. I've never seen this one either. Okay, I think we're back. We're back to the original. So, I don't know. What do you guys notice on these ones compared to last time we saw them? What's the black blotch in the middle? Oh, this thing, yeah. I don't know. There's so much. There's so much. Yeah, I don't remember the black blotch. I agree with you there. For sure. I don't remember the black blotch. I've never seen it to me. They all look like Australia warned that a huge cyclone is coming in the same time that the Bureau of Weather website removed colors from synoptic maps to warn danger in red. Cost millions, but less functional. I've never heard of Australia having cyclone. I guess that's your word for hurricane. I don't remember Australia ever having hurricanes. Because it was a tropical thing, and you guys are subtropical, last I checked, same as us. Yeah, I think basically that a lot of it is for porn. Okay, so I don't know what it looks like. It's filthy or something. It's all dark, like there's dirt all over it. And I've never seen any of them look like this. And now if you do a Google, all of these images look like this. They're just dirt. Like it's like there's a grime thing over it, and everything's darker. So there's this lake thing is darker and grayer. 2 of them for me especially look like that. It's this one, and it does look stupider all the time. And like less skilled, and trend is continuing. Okay, I've already said I never saw that one before. This one is ridiculously childish looking. Here's this one also. See how it's just so dark. Okay, let's see. And I've never seen the green or This dark green here, I don't know. So, like, I remember some red skies, but these just look like brick colored. I just don't remember that. And there's one where the dude is, like, all hunched over. Let me see if I can find it. How come I'm not seeing it? I saw this. I'm going to freak out if the hunched over dude... Here, okay, this guy. There's this one. I don't remember there ever being a hunched over dude. I actually don't know what that is either. It looks like there's a city in the... Okay, so that's changed a lot for me. What's going on here? Too much blue. I mean, they've all changed colors so many times. I don't remember there being yellow in the lake ever. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of yellow here that I don't know what the heck. I don't remember brick. I don't remember green on his face. All this green. What happened? I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, at first I saw it, I'm like somebody like changed it, or I mean like I felt like somebody had killed the color saturation or something. But yeah. So that's kind of a big change. This is all scratchy there. Ugh. All right. So I think I've said this before too. Jackie was talking about whether the robe was sparkly, and I guess it was in the first and second one. I just don't know enough about this show to really remember those things, but I do feel like the face just gets like longer, like the mouth and the eyes get longer and longer and now when I'm looking at it, I mean, like, I don't remember it being so open that you could see, I don't know what it is in here, because it wasn't open that much that you could see like in there. And I thought the eyes are just longer. It's like more extreme than it was before. I don't remember ever seeing any, like, it wasn't open enough to see in. So that's kind of freaking me out, actually. That's the change I noticed with the Scream movies. I put this one in because one of my first Mandelas, like 8-ish years ago or something, was this thing. And back then, there was just like maybe 10 of these little, whatever they are, and sticky uppy things. And they didn't have these bumps. And so first there was like 10 of them. And then I think at some point there was like a cross of them. So there were 4 channels of these. And then they got more and more of the thingies in them. And now I noticed today that there's 5 channels, so it's added a channel. So I'm just like, I'm wondering in 10 years if this thing is going to be 50 foot long with a million things, because it just keeps growing. It's another example of the thing that keeps growing. It is the same image too. It's like there's only one main image of these, and it's that one, and then this also, this one. And that was the first one that I ever saw. Looks like he has more feet too, actually. So you see the first one, it just looks like there's 2, maybe 1 or 2 of these channels, or I don't know what points on the star. And then this one showed up and it showed more, but it didn't show 5. This is the same image, but it's got more stuff on it. That was me. I got to there. I'm like, sorry, I have not finished. Okay, so Jackie found this one about super puffs. Have you heard of the super puff planets? It's actually the nickname for a unique and rare class of young exoplanets. Young meaning they're young, not that they're all that newly found, because apparently they were known since 2014. They have the density of cotton candy. Nothing like them exists in our solar system, except for them, I guess. Exoplanets. I didn't even have exoplanets. That thing showed up maybe 5 years ago, and now there's like millions of them. Okay, so I don't think it's always pink. So I kind of asked the AI, well, what's the difference between these super puffs and like just gas giants, and because this is still saying it's like gas and it's fluffy, but they're saying that the gas giants are heavy, like, and super high gravity, and yet it's still just a bunch of gas. And these are also huge. So I don't know, but they don't have high gravity, and the other ones do have high gravity, even though they're both really large. So anyway, that's the thing. Now we have these super puffs. Okay, I think I did jam through a bunch of these. Checking to see if I missed anything. Clouds like 1,000,000 pounds. Okay, I did. Ah, see, I can move fast when I want to. Yeah, okay, the mouth is getting larger. I think the eyes are more too, but the mouth is, it's getting out larger, and it's kind of like swinging out now. Yeah, the Van Gogh sunflowers keep changing. I just remember a field of them, but that field is gone, and they were well done, and now they look skunky. And there's new paintings, and they're not by him, and they're not very good either. Ironically, somebody came up with, the sisal. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. Sisal is the stuff that cats like to scratch on, that rope. It's called sisal, and they like stack it all together, and the cats go to town on it. And it's convenient in that you can train them to go on that. They like it, and it has a different texture than your normal furniture and stuff. So you can kind of teach them any sisal is allowed to be scratched, but don't scratch the fabric stuff. And a lot of cats can figure that out. So now they have these sisal mats that have Van Gogh paintings on them, and they're actually pretty cool. I did get one through Vine, so we'll see how it works out. But it's a bunch of these new ones. It was in fact, all of them I think were new ones. There was several of the sunflower ones. I picked a different one that I'm not sure if Van Gogh did it. I'm gonna have to check actually. Did Van Gogh do like almond blossoms? You can see I've done sunflowers. Every time I look at these sunflower Van Gogh ones, they suck more, and there's more of them. So he did that whole series now. This one's probably the least hideous one. I don't think I saw that one last time. It looks like they're all dead, burnt. This thing looks absolutely like trash. I think that's the one that was on the sisal. Those look terrible. That looks terrible. They were nicely done. They were more like this. There was a field of them, and they were more like that one. Now we have this kind of thing. 3 Vincent van Gogh sunflowers collections. Every one that shows is worth. I mean, like, those vases aren't even symmetrical. They just, it's just. A lot of my life, I've kind of looked at these and go, why are these considered good paintings when they really, I just don't see it. I mean, other than people telling you that they're supposed to be good, I'm looking at them going, those aren't good. Now I kind of wonder if maybe at some point they were like really good and they've just degraded ever since. Does the reality want to just keep degrading them and see how long you'll fall for it before you finally go, just because somebody told me it's good doesn't mean it's good? Is that the lesson? Think for yourself. They're going to have a big ol' write-up about how amazing his brush strokes are, and then they show you trash. Now I'm kind of curious if I'll find it. Some of his most famous still life paintings are his paintings of sunflowers. No, those are new. He painted other flower arrangements too. Two of his flower paintings have inspired me recently. Sunflowers and vase with gladioli and Chinese asters. So he's going to wax on about how amazing these are. Compositional sketch. This actually kind of looks better than the one that Van Gogh did. Maybe that really is a lesson, or one of them. Think for yourself, you know? Look at it from your own perspective using your own brain cells. I made a replica of the blue irises by Van Gogh. So part of it, I think, is this. If you're trying to replicate somebody else's, that's going to be a little harder than just doing it in your own style. It's going to take a lot more skill. If you just made good irises in your own style, I think you could make them look as cool as this. But when you have to actually replicate, that's a whole nother thing. But the other thing is, like, I'm sure we're all pretty good people, and I'm sure some people are pretty talented artists, but we're not like one of the best artists in the world. And I just don't feel like one of the best artists in the world would have trouble replicating this or doing something equally as good. I mean, just the fact that you could do an okay job of replicating it is just, you know, I don't feel like you should be able to, you know? Not if it's like the world, like some of the best paintings in the world. I mean, we're going to get there. We've seen some examples of this in current life too. Like an artist takes a banana and tapes it to the wall, and then they charge $50 million. Like somebody buys it for $50 million. I'm like, that's called money laundering, guys. I mean, it's not anything else. Like, call it for what it is. This is not art. So yeah, even like last year, I feel like Van Gogh's sunflowers were better than they are now. The way it's going, I don't think it's going to improve. But for a sisal matte, they're pretty good because they're not too complicated. You can't get too much detail on a sisal matte. And one thing I do think is that he picks colors that go good together. Like if you look on the color chart, these are colors that complement each other. So that's the one thing I'll say. And as a house painter, I'm kind of aware of that stuff because we had to pick colors all the time. So if you need kind of a not too deep detailed image that looks good on a sisal matte, they're pretty good at that. And then he has different color motifs to go with your house. So if you want some really light yellows and oranges, or do you want some deep blues? Oh, the Vitruvian man's feet. Yeah, I haven't looked at Vitruvian in eons, have I? Let's check out Vitruvian man. They do keep shifting around. Ooh. See, that's a little more like I remember, but those feet all went to the side. Like each one of those, that one would have went that way, that one went up, and then these went to the side. And then you need one more set of arms and legs. That would have been the original Vitruvian. All right, what do we got now? See the original. Is that really the original? That's not. Okay, wait. Where is the original? Man, his two-sided face keeps changing. It looks like he's like had a stroke or something. This eye is really sharp, and that one's really dark, and it looks orange like he got punched. All right, let's see. Can we see the whole thing? I guess that's it then. All right, let's see what we got. All right, okay. I do think this is different than last time. I don't think last time I had these two both forward. I don't think I've ever seen these two both forward. This is crazy. Oh, I do think it's been a while since I looked at that, and I don't remember that. I don't quit that. He looks like he's got 3 extra belly buttons above his belly button now. What's going on with that? I don't know if the muscle structure does that now in men or what, but this one has come off the circle maybe a tad more than I recall. Let's see if I can make it any larger. Not really. I kind of want to make it larger now because I do see some changes. 681. It's not much bigger. 48. Need a big one. Doesn't look like there's any really high def ones. All right, we'll try this one. Does a little better. Ah, it doesn't have the feet. How could you do it and not have the feet? That is so wrong. Wow, is that what it looks like? It's on this weird scroll crap? I don't think I even remember how it was. Let's try this one. Okay. I don't remember ever seeing all this. I thought it was, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I really do not remember. No. Okay. The circle did not have a bunch of scribbling right near it like that. There's no way that it did. Maybe they would have cut it off and I'd not see this, but this is also really close. But I'm quite sure that the circle was clean. Yeah, wait. There was no way these points stuck out outside the circle here. The square points did not stick out outside the circle. That's bugging me. There's something really weird going on with this square too. I don't even remember it being down here like this. Like, I think it was more like out the sides. I don't remember it being down here. Okay, so there has been some changes. Also here, I remember these lines being so, like, I think it was kind of fuzzy. So you didn't really see the outline of these center ones so much right here. He kind of fuzzed these out so that the overlap here was not so jarring. Now he kind of looks like he's got these weird skinny legs too, because you can see these lines really good. You couldn't before. And another thing that I'm noticing, I saw this before, but all these like hash marks coming out the sides here, that wasn't there originally. And that's just kind of growing slowly. Also, the coloration on the hands and here, the palm, it looks like there's dirt on his, it looks like he grabbed dirt. I don't remember seeing any of that last time. Ooh, and there's like a line across the top of his head now. So I had talked about these lines showing up here, which they do look darker than I recall, these slash marks, but there's one up here now also that goes like here. Oh, and there's one across the chin here, that wasn't there. There's also something weird here. I think these arms were more like here and here, because this one's way up now, and that makes his shoulders rise way up. And I just don't remember seeing like this shoulder split like this, and these bulgy shoulders sticking up. I think that this arm was down more. So I think this was down more, and then how would the square go? I think maybe he was touching the circle before. I'm trying to figure it out, but there's definitely been some changes. I don't remember the square being right on top of his head, for starters. Like, it wasn't sitting on top of his head like this. Yeah, there's been changes on there. Yeah, it used to have, yeah, it just doesn't, it's definitely degraded. I agree with you. The balance is all off. It just, the artistic choices are not what it once was. And a black, yeah, so for a while now, it was actually Mandela affected that first noticed that the two sides of the face started to look different, and that has become more extreme. Whoops, no, we didn't want that. Okay, well, there's been changes to Vitruvian. I think there's probably changes to everything. Let's see. Come on, pen. Changes. Should probably look at what's the name of that statue that's at CERN? It's why can't I think of the name of it? It's Shiva. Let's look at Shiva at CERN. See what we got. Should probably do Google, but oh well. Like, alright, I need better quality. High quality, please. No. No good quality. How about this one? Is that the same one I already looked at? And I think it is. Alright, that doesn't look good. Come on, there has to be a good one. That's the one I was trying to get there. Oh, kind of suspicious. Let me try Google. I usually don't have that much trouble finding a high-end one of these. It's better. 780. How about this one? Oh, here, let's try this one. Why is it so tiny? It's not even there. Instagram's always a big pain. Okay, this is not too bad. Nothing really jumps out at me. Well, you know what? I think there's like a... No. I was going to say it looks like there's a shirt, but I think it's just... See, there's like something coming along like this that I don't really remember. It makes it look like there's some kind of vest on. I don't think that was there before. We need a better image, though. So even that one's not good enough. Come on. Not looking at Insta again. Not clear. Oh, I've never seen one with snow on it. It says it's high quality, but then it looks blurry. That's why I'm not clicking on that one. Let me just try this one. No. Can't find any clear ones. See, it's this. Like, there's this, and then there's... I don't think this was here. These, whatever it is. Actually, I don't think that was either. I don't know what those are even supposed to be. Looks like something flips out here, and I'm trying to see if there's, like, a vest on. It's so black here, too. I like this arm stuff has gotten more extensive, too. These little boobas might have changed a bit. There's more like fringy bits. I keep waiting to see what these little things are going to turn into, but there's like like 5 or 6 lines sticking down that weren't on them before. Okay, so it's not like screaming changes, but I do see some changes on this. It's always interesting when I can't find a good quality image too, because a lot of times when stuff's shifty, that's when you can't find a decent image until it's sort of settled down. That one's all blurry. God dang. It's not gonna work. Seriously, I can't find a good image. Let's try this one. That might be useful. Okay, what do we got here? You know what I think is these little fire things have gotten bigger. Yeah. These fire things have definitely gotten bigger. They were pretty small before. I think the ring has gotten bigger. Yeah, so I think more neck pieces. I don't know what that is, but I don't remember that. This snake now has more, it has like a pattern in it, like, I think there's more on that one. I noticed on the other image. This guy's getting bigger too. Very slowly. I think the face is fatter than I remember it recently. It's fat. It's very fat face. The face is interesting because it changes a lot. There's like more bracelets, more. I don't think there was that many bracelets on those two hands in that one before. Okay, yeah, and you can really see this thing over the shoulder, so. I'm trying to remember. I thought there was 3. Wasn't at some point there were 3 of these floppy things? Somehow it looks kind of anemic in there. All right, yeah, you guys take it off. I'm going to take off soon here. Yeah, the thing on Shiva's feet, it was very simple and much smaller before. Yep. Yeah, sorry, Jackie. I just don't know about those syringes things because I've never actually. A lot of these images, I've seen them advertised all the time, but I don't actually watch the movie. So if it's like the main character, main image, you see them all the time and in other movies and in jokes, and so I can be familiar with those, but the actual details of what happens in the movie, I just don't watch those comedy horrors. It's just not my deal. Frankly, I think a lot of dudes watch those more. Like, I know a lot of guys who like those shows. I don't know very many females who do. I mean, obviously there's exceptions, but. All right, well, you get the drill. Hopefully, the luck, it looks like it's just me. Hopefully my luck will improve. It does seem like maybe there's been less disasters per day, so hopefully I'm moving out of the insanity. We'll just wait for the Google servers to go down, and then we'll have straightened out all of the server collapses. Anyways, even though I'm not doing a very good job of it right now, think good thoughts, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.